Welcome back, weavers of the Eternal Strands. In this video, we're diving into how to extract the Ember's servant strand from one of Eternal Strand's fiercest titans, the Arc of the Living Flame, a towering inferno of destruction. Every titan requires a different approach to extract their strand, and this fiery foe is no exception. In this guide, I'll break down its attack patterns, the key moments to weaken its defenses, and the exact method to claim its blazing essence for yourself. So grab your gear, brace for the heat, and let's extinguish this flame-born behemoth. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to like and subscribe. It truly means the world and helps the channel grow. Let's go through some prep work and key things to keep in mind to make this fight way easier. First off, it's a fire giant. So before you even think about climbing this thing, drink your fire shroud vial. This will give you the fire resistance you need to survive the intense heat. Trust me, you do not want to get caught without it. Next, make sure your stamina bar is completely full before scaling the Titan. Running out of stamina mid-climb is basically a death sentence. If you lose your grip at the wrong moment, well, let's just say it won't be a fun ride down. Also, keep an eye on your surroundings. There are usually a few extra vitality potions scattered around. If things go south, those might just save your life. A quick detour to grab one before engaging can make all the difference between victory and a fiery defeat. And here's something people often overlook. You can always rest at your tent and check the loom gate before heading into the fight. Make sure the weather is clear before entering the area where the Ark is located. Trust me, dealing with a Titan is tough enough without extra distractions like harsh weather effects making things even worse. So, extracting the Ember's servant strand from the Arc of the Living Flame isn't as simple as just breaking weak points. You'll need to scale this towering Titan and destroy 5 latch points to access the Locust Point. But here's the catch. 4 of these latch points are cleverly hidden, and the only one that's easy to spot is actually the hardest to reach. Let's go through their locations and the best way to get to them. First up, the 2 latch points on the Ark's calves. These are covered by circular domes, making them blend in with the Titan's body. You might not notice them at first, but once you break those domes open, you'll reveal a glowing orange core. Destroying these weak points not only helps bring the Titan down, but also rewards you with some high-tier loot, 4-star purple or even 5-star golden rarity items. If you're farming for rare drops, this is a solid way to get them. The third weak point is located right in the center of its chest. Unlike the others, this one is much more exposed, but it's still protected by a large dome. Once you break through that layer, you'll find another glowing core underneath. Smashing this weak spot deals serious damage and brings you one step closer to extracting the strand. Now here's where things get tricky. The fourth weak point is on the tip of its staff, specifically on the crescent moon-shaped edge. Reaching this one is a bit of a challenge because the Ark constantly moves its staff, making it a tough target. On top of that, being out in the open puts you right in its line of sight, making grab attacks a real threat. Yeah, it's tough, but not impossible. Luckily, there's an easy workaround. If you damage one of the Titan's exposed weak points, like the chest or calves, the Ark will stagger and kneel down, bringing the staff closer to the ground. This is your chance to climb. With the Ark kneeling, you can grab onto the midsection of the staff, cutting down the distance you need to climb. You'll have only a brief window while the Ark is still stunned, so make the most of it. Rush up as quickly as possible, try to reach the crescent tip, and break the latch point. Timing is everything here, so be ready to move fast. Finally, we come to the 5th weak point, located on the Ark's left-hand bracelet. Unlike the staff, this one isn't as difficult to reach, but it still requires some careful navigation. Once you manage to break the latch point on the bracelet, you'll unlock access to the Locust Point. And if you're wondering where that is, yep, it's on the head. You'll need to climb the massive, dish-like structure at the top of the Titan to reach the extraction point. Now, let's dive a little deeper into how to reach the Locust Point. Once you've broken the bracelet, make your way to the Ark's head and climb over the massive, fire dish-like structure perched at the top. This part requires serious climbing, and timing is everything. Make sure your stamina is full, or when you reach the neck and shoulder area, you can briefly uncling there to regain some stamina, but be careful not to fall off. Once you've made your way over the dish to the peak, you'll finally be able to extract the Ember's servant strand. And let me tell you, it feels amazing to take down a Titan like this. Now let's talk survival, because if you don't know what you're doing, the Ark is going to send you straight to the respawn screen. This thing has some devastating attacks, and if you're not sharp, you're not making it out in one piece. First up, the grab attack. And trust me, you do not want to get caught by this. It deals massive damage. If you're below its waist, the Ark reaches down from above, so your best bet is to jump off or drop down before its massive hand closes in. But if you're climbing above its waist, that's when it reaches up from below in a last-second grab. In that case, your best move is to jump right before it makes contact. Time it right, and you'll avoid the grab while still clinging to the Titan. Mistime it and, well, you're getting crushed. Then there's the shakedowns. The Ark is not a fan of being climbed, and it'll do everything in its power to throw you off like an angry bull. The good news? You always get an on-screen cue before it starts shaking. The bad news? If you ignore it, you're going flying. As soon as you see the warning, grip onto its body and don't let go. From my experience, it always shakes twice before stopping, so just hang in there and ride it out. And just to make things even more chaotic, the Ark also summons Ember servants, tiny fire creatures that scatter across the battlefield. Don't let their size fool you. These things will swarm you the second they get the chance. You can freeze them with ice or toss them away, but honestly, just ignore them and climb. They can't touch you once you're scaling the Titan, so don't waste time. Just create distance and get moving. Now, let's talk heat-up attacks. This is when the Ark literally turns up the heat. If you see flames surging through its body, that's your cue that parts of it, or sometimes the whole damn thing, are about to ignite. If you've taken your fire shroud file, you're fine. If not, jump off immediately. I've seen way too many players try to tank through this, and spoiler alert, it never ends well. Stomp attacks. If you're underneath the Ark, especially near its front, be ready for some serious ground shaking. The second you see it raise its foot, don't just stand there. Dodge roll. One stomp and you're either taking massive damage or getting completely flattened. Staff stomps, same principle, different weapon. That giant staff isn't just for show, it'll slam into the ground hard enough to send shockwaves your way. Watch its movements, and the second it lifts that staff, start moving. You do not want to be anywhere near where it lands. And finally, the fireball attack. Now this one's actually kind of fun if you know what you're doing. The Ark launches massive, slow-moving fireballs that are surprisingly easy to dodge. You can either sprint to outrun them, dodge roll through them, or, this is where things get spicy, use your grasp power to catch them mid-air and throw them back. And let me tell you, nothing feels better than wrecking the Ark with its own attack. The Ark of the Living Flame is a tough fight, but once you know where to attack and when to move, it's all about execution. Stick to the plan, keep an eye on its moves, and you'll claim the Ember's servant strand before you know it. Good luck out there, Weavers.